The Podcast Pit, brought to you by Ben Media.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that special time of the week. It is time to talk some wrestling. This is the Podcast Pit Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, former professional wrestler, promoter of Voltage Wrestling, jack of all trades, master of what I do not know, Mike Rennes. I'm alongside my broadcast partner, Rennes, the Menace Carball. How you doing, Rennes?
Not too bad, Mike. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. Once again, we got a guest on the phone already this week, a surprise guest. We kind of hooked him in here last minute. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, if you were watching the Attitude Era, was one of the highlights of the Attitude Era, for me at least.
Yeah.
For me, a Maryland boy at least, I will say that. Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone with us now, the one and only Dwayne Gill, a.k.a. Gilberg. How you doing, Dwayne?
All right. How you guys doing this morning?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Good to hear that you were back with us here and feeling well and, in good health right now. I know you had a scare a couple of weeks ago, and just glad to hear you're okay again.
Oh, man, believe me, I'm glad to hear I'm okay, too.
I'm sure.
I did have a scare, man. I did have a scare. It scared the heck out of me.
Now, so we wanted to bring you on here mainly to talk about your wrestling career, the highs, the lows, and the highs again of, being involved in this wacky world of professional wrestling. I kind of came in contact with you with when I started working for ACW, and we kind of got to know each other a little bit. But kind of want to get a little bit of your background, like how you kind of get started in the professional wrestling industry.
Well, me, myself, I was a super fan. In other words, I watched it no matter what time, where, when, and how, man. I was there to watch it. And growing up, when I moved to Florida, my father and I had standing reservations at the Eddie Graham Sports Arena, and we used to go every month and watch them. So I watched Dusty Rhodes start, Mike Rennes, Steve Kern, all those guys start. And I just was a super fan, and then I used to watch it all the time, and I had a good friend, Barry Hardy. And I used to always say, come on, Barry, man, wrestling's on. Come on. Man, I ain't watching that fake stuff, man. I ain't watching that. And then one night, a senator that we know gave him tickets to go to the Baltimore Arena, and Hulk Hogan was on the card.
Wow.
He saw Hulk Hogan walk out, and that changed his entire life.
Wow.
He said he felt that buzz, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The energy. And he was like, man, I got to do this. Now I understand why Dwayne likes it. Now, when that happened, him and I had lost contact because, you know how it is, your friend, you grow up, you got apartments next to each other and everything, but then your girlfriends become your wives and you move away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for like 2 years, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. And I'm watching wrestling one day and I go, oh, my God, look, hon, isn't that Barry, but a lot bigger? And because he was a lot bigger, man. And she goes, yeah, that is him. So I called his mother because that was the only number I had for him. And she said, Dwayne, he's home. That was pre-recorded. And I said, well, can I have his number? She goes, yeah, he's been looking for you. So I called him that night. And he's like, man, I've been looking all over for you, man. Here I am becoming a wrestler, and you of all people, I know what to be a wrestler.
Oh, and I know in the late, I know back then it's probably a lot harder to find people back then than it is now. Now with like social media and being connected and stuff, it's like had to be a lot harder to.
Right, I didn't know anything about wrestling schools. I didn't know any other wrestlers, not knowing that. I mean, now in my neighborhood, you got 2 or 3 wrestlers. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And when I called Barry, he's like, man, I live at this address. And I said, Barry, that's like a quarter mile from my house. He goes, no way. I said, yeah. So I went over his house that night and started learning hip tosses and arm drags and body slams on a half-inch of foam and a piece of carpet. On a concrete floor in his basement.
Wow.
Learning lockups and all that.
Mm-hmm. Talk about humble beginnings there. Yeah, that's
that's
a pretty wild
story. You want to talk about a mark when he showed me what a punch was, I looked him in the face. I said, "You are kidding me, right?" He goes, "No, dude, this is what wrestling is." And I'm like, "You're lying to me, man. You're lying to me." He goes, "No, this is what wrestling is." It took like, the first week of training before I knew he wasn't lying to me.
So, yeah, it took you a week to kind of like realize, hey, he's trying to clue me in here. You know, it's
right. That's how big a fan I was of wrestling.
Wow.
You know, that's no lie.
So,
and that's why I say that when wrestlers call fans marks, I say the real mark is the wrestler. Because think about it. We love it so much that we said, I don't care what it does to my body. I don't care how much money I make. I want to get in that ring.
Right.
Absolutely.
Who's
yeah,
the
no,
mark?
that's 100% true. 100% true right there. So you got to take me through, like, so you go through some training. I mean, how long did you train for, and like, what was your first match like?
I was lucky. I was God gifted because I was an athlete my whole life. I wrestled. I played baseball, football. You know what I mean? Everything. And when I got in the ring, it just became natural. After about 7 months, I wrestled Barry for the MCW, because we started MCW then, Maryland Championship Wrestling. I wrestled Barry for the Maryland Championship Wrestling heavyweight title that day.
Wow.
And I came out as the Concrete Warrior. I rode a skateboard down to the ring and was wearing a red singlet with a mask. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, it was really, really, it was unbelievable because, like, Barry threw a show. It was Nikita Koloff, Dick Worley was one of the referees and everything, man. It was crazy.
So let me ask you, like, what year was this? What year was this around? Like, was this
89? 89.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this was like the original MCW, like before, like Danny kind of came back and.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I gave the name Danny.
All right.
Because what happened was, Danny went to my school.
Okay.
Which is the Baltimore Monster Factory. Danny went to my school and learned how to wrestle and everything. And then what happened is Barry and I got more and more famous, and we got on the road more and more and more. And we were doing house shows as uncontracted wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were working like 20, 25 days a month. So I had to close my school because I couldn't, take care of my school. And with that, Danny was already a wrestler because he wanted to run shows, and I was letting him use MCW, and his mom and him were running shows, and I was showing him how to run a show and everything like that. And then I got on the road, and we closed the school, and Danny called me one day and said, "Hey, Dwayne, I'm going to start a wrestling school. Can I use MCW?" I said, "Go ahead, Dan."
And the rest is
Little
history.
did I know, man, what
Wow.
the man was going to do with it. My God, has he put that on the map or what?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the premier independents in the country right now.
I tell you what, God bless him, man. God bless him. I'm happy as hell for him. I really am.
So you have your first match here as a Concrete Warrior. You said this is late 80s. You gotta run me through, like, because eventually you're gonna wind up in the WWF. And
well, what happened was when I did that match, Barry's like, "I'm telling you, Dwayne, you're ready for WWF." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." Because that was my dream, just to stand in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. Like, how can you go out there and get your ass beat every day? Who am I wrestling? The British Bulldog, The Undertaker, Jake the Snake. You know what I mean? You name it, I wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why you get into wrestling, because you basically idolize those people, and then you're in there and they're your friends, and you're going to bars with them, and you're wrestling them, and what more can you ask for? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Money, but
Yeah.
yeah. Let me set one thing straight too. Wikipedia has me down as having my net value is $3.4 million.
Yeah.
I'm lucky if my net value is $3.40.
Oh no.
They're way off, man. I mean, that must be Goldberg they're thinking of. You know what I mean?
Goldberg.
I mean, I'm a paycheck to paycheck guy, man.
So let me ask you,
It's
like,
unbelievable.
you're up in the WWF mid '90s, like probably early to mid '90s, and like I said, you were wrestling the who's who of wrestling at the time. I mean, this is like end of Hulkamania, kind of going into the new generation, so to speak. Was there any opponent up there where you were just like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm doing this in the ring right now? Like, I can't believe I'm wrestling this person right now. Is there anybody that you kind of like were taken back by?
Like my third match up there was against the Road Warriors.
Oh, wow.
And, and it was funny as hell because Hawk pushed me back into the ropes and he went, clothesline. And as I was running to the other rope, I kept looking back. He talked to me. He talked to me. and, yeah. And see, in the locker room, I told Animal, because he wanted to power slam Barry, because, Animal was the power guy, and Barry looked like the power guy because he was so short and stocky, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to power slam the power guy because that's the way he always did it. And I said, Animal, please power slam me. And he's like, no, I want to power slam. I said, no, power slam me. He goes, I want to power slam. Barry goes, Animal, power slam him. Trust me. Right? I come in, we tagged, I came in, boom, boom, boom. He gets me back in the rope. He said, okay, power slam. Brother, I come off those ropes. I jumped so high. I was 4 inches above his reached out hand.
Wow.
And when I was coming down, he caught me in midair and hit the canvas, boom. And when he hit, he stood right back up with his arms out going, ah. And he was like, oh, my God, man. We got in the locker room. He said, what a power slam, man. I said, told you.
That's awesome.
That sold your ass off for him, huh?
And then what got Barry, man, after a while, I started getting comfortable with Barry. You know how I am. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How I just talk to everybody and just, it doesn't matter because I met you 2 seconds ago. I'm talking to you like you're my best friend.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Well, yeah, we're in the locker room, and I say, hey, Barry, I'm changing the match. And he goes, what? I said, I'm going over to Road Warriors. I'm changing the match. He goes, what are you going to do? I said, just listen. He goes, man, cut it out, man. I said, hey, guys, hey, how you guys doing? And he goes, oh, hey, man, you ready for the match? Yeah. And I said, hey, can I talk to you about the match? And he goes, sure. What's up? Barry's going, I don't have nothing to do with this, okay? I said, you know how, like, when you guys put your shoulder pads out, we turn our back on you and you attack us? I go, yeah. And I said, let's be for real, dude. If I'm fighting somebody your size, when you put those shoulder pads out, I'm attacking your ass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they go, it makes sense. I said, and they go, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, we'll come over, we'll attack you. You really don't have to sell if you don't want to. We'll start forearming you, set you up for a double clothesline. We're going to whip both of you off and give you each a clothesline, right? Yeah. You reverse it. We hit the ropes, come off, double press. You go, yeah. And I said, Hawk, you give Barry the Arn Anderson, which is the head first into the turnbuckle, from a press slam. I said, Animal, you walk over to the ropes, look out at the crowd, scream as loud as you want, and drop me. I said, as long as you drop me flat like a push-up, I'll be fine. But toss me out of the ring. He goes, man, that's like 15 feet. You can't do that. And I said, Animal, as long as you lay me flat, I'll be fine. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, we got to talk to Vince about this. So they went into Vince's office, and they came out, and they go, hey, come on. You got to go and talk to Vince. I was like, okay. So I went in, told Vince what we wanted to do. He goes, did you sign your releases? I said, yes, sir, we did. He said, drop them. I kid you not, man.
Wow.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Drop them. Yeah, I knew that I was a jobber, and I wanted to be the best at being a jobber.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by Barry and I doing that, we did stuff that no other jobbers did, which we went on the road. We were 25, 28 days a month on the B tour, and we would start out second match, and by the end of the tour, we were, co-main event or main event because the people that were working us loved to work us so much that the matches were taking so long that, early in the show, the guys were like, come on, man, don't get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? So they put us later in the show, which, raised our money a little bit, but, we didn't by far make millions. We didn't even make thousands, okay? You know me, brother. You know what I mean? You know everything about it. And, but Larry Sharp's the one that got us up there.
That's awesome. And Larry Sharp,
Larry
Sharp, he's the one that owned the original Monster Factory. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was actually partners with him for a while. I owned two Baltimore Monster Factories, and he was. I mean, some people talk bad, but I'll tell you what, I knew Larry for a long, long time, and he never did anything bad to anybody that I could tell. You know what I mean? And
that's a rarity in wrestling, too.
He was a great guy, and I went up to Larry. Ferry took me up to Larry's because he's like, I'm telling you, Dwayne, you're good enough. You're good enough. And you know yourself, I could do that one thing that nobody else can do. And, we used it as our finish move, death from above. But when you bring me in the hard way, I could go all the way across a 20-foot ring, take a back bump, and go right out the ropes on the other side. Nobody else could do that.
Yeah.
So we were up there, and we were wrestling. As a matter of fact, I was wrestling Glenn Ruth. Okay? Glenn Ruth, you know who Glenn Ruth is,
That
right?
was Headbanger Mosh, correct?
Yeah, that's Thrasher.
Oh, that's Thrasher. Yes.
Yeah, he's Thrasher. And I was wrestling him, and him and Barry teamed up, and it was me and another guy. It was Gus Canarakis, the Greek. Yeah, he's what he called himself, the Greek. And we were wrestling, and Larry had been coming out of his office with the Soul Taker. Do you know who the Soul Taker is?
No, I don't think I'm familiar with the Soul Taker.
The Godfather.
Oh, the Godfather. Okay. So
this was when the Godfather was 6'10", 370 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
And he had a mohawk. And I mean, looked like the meanest SOB that ever stepped on the face of the earth. So they come walking out of the office, and just about that time, Barry gave me the slingshot in. And I went all the way across the ring and out the other side, right? And Glenn picked me up, started chopping the hell out of me, and Larry goes, whoa, 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 stop. And I'm like, oh, God, man, there's Larry Sharp. This was my first meeting, with Larry. I'm like, oh, my God, there he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't believe I saw what I think I just saw. And I go, everybody's like, what's that? What's that? He goes, that way you came in the ring. And I went, oh, he said, can you do it again? I said, sure. So I went outside there, ring, got up on the apron. Barry started giving me. He said, stop. Don't punch him. Don't pull his ass in. I want to see him go. And he went, bam, and I shot all the way across the ring, hit. And when I hit, I stood right up and leaned on the ropes. And I went, is that what you wanted to see? He goes, yes, you're good enough. You can go.
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice. So
if anybody bumps like that, you can go.
So I want to fast forward this to about 1998 here.
Okay.
So this was like the peak of my fandom. I was 14 when I kind of got into wrestling. That was right when the Attitude Era started, and I remember this distinctly because they announced anytime being a Maryland boy, anytime they announced somebody from Baltimore on a pay-per-view, I'm kind of my ears kind of peak up and I'm watching a little bit more intently because home state, you kind of pay attention. But I see you come out of Survivor Series. I believe you wrestled the Big Boss Man, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I wrestled Mankind.
Mankind. There you go.
I was the secret, the opponent, the secret opponent. Remember, everybody thought it was Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Going to be Shawn Michaels. And do you know, Howard Finkel called me and said, Dwayne, we need you on this date, and this date. Which was Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I said, well, why are you bringing me in, man, on Survivor Series? It's pay-per-view. And he goes, I don't know. They want you here. And I said, all I know is Vince said, find Dwayne Gill. I'm finding Dwayne Gill. Can you make it? sure, Howard, you know I'll be there, man, no matter what you need. So I came up, I'm sitting there, and I was actually playing cards with Thrasher. And Mick walks up to me about an hour before the show and goes, why ain't you dressed? I go, Mick, it's a pay-per-view. I don't get dressed on this. He goes, boy, they did keep it a secret. You're my mystery opponent. And I went, what? He goes, yeah, you're the mystery opponent. I went, oh, okay, I'll be back, Glenn. So I went and got dressed, and we walked through everything, you know what I mean? Basically what got me my job, my contract, was when I walked out. If you remember, I walked out, and I was pointing up at the Titantron going, man, look at that. That's me. But it was showing me getting finished by every wrestler in WWE at the time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking snooker splashes, crush his head, crush thing, everything, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's me. And they set off pyro. Well, when they did, I dropped flat down on the concrete, right on the boom. And I looked around. And the fans were all looking at me. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that. Well, they cracked up. And, I walked to the ring and did my deal, which is, 30 seconds, boom, 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 see you. And that night, Ed Ferrar and his wife were watching the tape of, the show. And they said, my God, this guy just loves being there. Look at Ed Ferrar didn't know me. I mean, he loved me, but he didn't know me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the next day I was at Raw, and they said they were going to, let me have the next 2 days for paydays, just for doing the Survivor Series. I said, great, I'll take it. And I was sitting there, and Jim Ross walked up to me and said, Wayne, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, sure, Jim, what you need? He said, here, follow me. And we started walking back down the hallway, and I'm going, okay, what did I do? I didn't do nothing, man. It's been 2 years I've been here. What the heck's going on? He walks back underneath the bleachers. You know how in an arena you can walk under the bleachers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he stops. And he goes, I guess you're wondering, man, why I brought you down here. I said, yes, sir, I sure am. He goes, well, we want to put the light heavyweight strap on you, but to do that, we got to sign you to a 3-year deal. And I busted out laughing. And I said, yeah, real funny, Paul Bear, Undertaker, Thrasher, where the hell you guys at? Headbangers, this is not a joke. And I turn around, and Jim Ross is looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with you, boy? And I went, you're not kidding me, are you? And he goes, no, and believe it or not, Barry's calling me right now. I said, he goes, oh, no, son, that's a straight shoot. And I went, well, let me think about it. Okay. Right?
Didn't take long, huh?
No, take your time, call your wife, make sure. I said, look, I've been doing this stuff this long. I don't care who likes it or what. I'm signing a contract right now. He goes, well, give me time to have one brought up. I said, yes, sir. And, I went back and told Glenn. He was like, all right, dude, this is going to be a ball, man. I said, yeah, I got the job, man. He's like, that's awesome. So we were playing cards, and I guess Jim was coming up from behind me, and Glenn goes, oh, here he comes, and he's got a stack of papers, brother. He said, oh, my God, it's happening. And I was like, yo, my God. And he come by and hit me with, the contract in the back. Come on, Nick. I said, yes, sir. I got right up. And Glenn goes, hey, Dwayne. I said, what? As I was walking away, and he threw me a pen. He said, you're going to need that.
Nice.
I still got that pen.
Oh, wow. I'm sure you do. I would have kept that pen, that contract. I probably would have kept the chair that I was sitting in.
Well, the contract, I got a couple of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a couple of them. So that I still have it, though. I'm not lying to you.
No, so after this, you win the light. I remember you winning the light heavyweight title. I believe you defeated Christian for that. And after this, you go on probably what is considered to be the best run of your career here. That doing Gilbert, the kind of the Goldberg kind of character. Can you kind of explain how that kind of came about?
Yeah, actually, I was doing that on the independents. I was making fun of the boys when I started after I had a bad shoulder injury down at WCW. I blew my shoulder out real bad, and that's why I was out for a while. Well, I was getting back into the ring, and I figured, what the hell, have some fun. I did Stone Old, where I took pool swimmies and made the braces out of pool swimmies and everything. Came out with a walker and everything. And when I was trying to give the finger, I was acting like I couldn't do it because of arthritis and all. And it was funny as hell. I did the underfaker. I put a wig on and walked out and everything like the under, And I did Gilbert. Well, I was in the locker room. We were on the road, and I was talking to Paul Bear and Kane one night. We're, in the hallway just BSing. And I was just telling him about it. I said, yeah, I did Gilbert. And Percy looked at me and went, oh, what'd you say? I said, I did Gilbert. And I told him, man, what I did. I said, oh, Dwayne Gill, you may have something there, boy. And I said, what do you mean? He said, oh, we'll figure it out. So the rest of the night, every time I walked by them two, they'd be going on, had their hand over their mouth going, Gilbert. Had them and all, And they'd laugh their asses off. And then, half hour later, I'd see them and they'd do it again. Well, the next day I go into catering, which is before TVs, and where you're eating, and a lot of the boys are in there and all. And next thing I know, I'm up there and I'm walking through getting my food, and I hear, Gilbert. All the boys are doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I turned around and set my tray down, jumped up on the table, and everybody laughed their ass off, and I thought that was it. We did TVs and everything, and then I went home, And I'm home, and about Wednesday, I get a call. So we understand you do this Gilbert thing. Oh, yeah. Well, get your stuff together. We want you to do it. And I said, oh, and they're like, what? And I said, I don't want to do it. And they're like, why not? And I said, I lose. I don't want to lose my title. I just won it 3 days ago. And they go, oh, no, that's the beauty. And I go, what's that? And they go, 3 weeks ago. And they said, you don't have to worry about it. You'll wrestle heavyweight. You're light heavyweight champion. You can't lose the title.
Huh.
And I went, oh, okay, that's cool now. I like that. And they said, and that way the count begins. 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4.
No, I remember seeing that for the first time. And keep in mind, like me and a friend of mine by the name of Mark Brown, who now works, he's a producer for Ring of Honor. We grew up together, though, watched wrestling together every Monday night. And I remember hearing, I was like, Gilbert, who's that? And then when you kind of came out through the door, they had the door with the security, and then the guys were holding up sparklers or whatnot. And I remember thinking, I was like, man, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Well, that day, they were like, all right, you're going to wrestle Edge. I said, Edge? I said, why would you have me wrestle Edge if you want to make fun of the guy? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, Ed is a superstar. He'd kick my ass, no problem. I said, give me Luna. And they're like, what? I said, what's better to make fun of the guy than have a woman beat my ass? And Luna's going, no, Dwayne, this is raw. No. I'm going, Luna, hon, let's be for real. If you got pissed off, you'd probably kick my ass right now. I said, so what's the matter?
Mm-hmm.
If you knew Luna, she beat up a lot of men, brother.
Oh, yeah.
I would not have messed with her, and that's the God's honest truth. I would not put my fist up and have fought Luna back in the day. No way.
Not one bit. I remember her yelling at me while I was in the crowd once, just to try to get heel heat, and it scared the crap out of me. I was a kid then, but yeah, still, I'd be scared as an adult.
Yeah, I mean, she was that tough. She really was that tough. So they're like, well, the writers are like, well, we got to clear this. So they went. Next thing you know, you're wrestling Luna. I'm like, awesome. And the best part about it was in the match, everything was going as perfect. And if you remember, it come to a point where we both stopped in the middle of the ring, and she went, I'm lost. I went, ball shot. It wasn't no ball shot in the match. And she dropped down, and when she smacked my ass, I grabbed her leg her arm as tight as I could with my leg, and I went, oh, as loud as I could, man, at the highest pitch sound. I'm holding her hand, and she's going, let go of my damn arm. I swear, I'm gonna kill you, Dwayne. I'm gonna kill you. Let go of my arm. Let go of my arm. And I'm holding on to her arm, and I went, oh, and I fell onto my side with her arm still between my legs. And I go, oh, and then she let go. She goes, you son of a bitch. Right, excuse me, I'm sorry. Right in the match, she's yelling at me. Yeah,
that's good stuff.
And then we reversed it. But the whole thing was, which killed which I thought killed it was Pat Patterson was the agent for that match.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Pat, when I get her up for the jackhammer, I'm going to go, whoa, 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 and drop her down on me. That should be the fit. No, I want her to splash you. Man, if she'd have did that, the roof came off the place. You know what I mean? But I got her up, and I did the whoa, 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 boom, and played 1, 2, and I had to kick out. And the place was like, the whole place was 1, 2. They went nuts. And then she went up on the top rope and splashed. And they still went nuts, but it was a little less. You know what I mean? And Pat even said when we come in, you were right, Dwayne. That's going to be your finish from now on.
Yeah, and hearing that from probably one of the greatest finish guys in the history of wrestling, that's got to say something. Yeah. That's got to say something about.
Oh man, that was a pat on my back.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
He said that. You know what I mean? I was like, "Thank you, Pat." He was a genius. Let's be for real, bud.
Yeah,
let's be for real.
But absolutely,
I got my highest honor in wrestling after that match. When I came back through the curtain, there was not a McMahon, a producer, a camera guy, or wrestler that wasn't standing right there at that curtain. When I came through, they were all clapping and laughing so hard, makeup running down everybody's face and everything. They were pissing themselves, man. And when I turned around, Luna came through the curtain and did it. She's second generation or third generation. She got on her knees and was bowing like a Japanese does, you know what I mean? Putting her head on my feet. I grabbed her and I picked her up. I said, Luna, don't you ever do that again. She said, I'm trying to show you respect. I said, honey, I owe you everything. Do you know what you just did for me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, thank you. You don't owe me nothing, hon. Thank you. Yeah, that I knew that. When I walked through that curtain and got that ovation there, I knew it just catapulted me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And hey, the only thing I can ask for now is a match with him. Sissy's out there. What's he going to do with Drew? He can't beat me.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Like I talked.
Brother, I have asked him to his face. I said, come on, Goldberg, man, let's do this match. You can kill Gilbert. I'll make 100,000. You'll make $1 million. I can retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can retire, and I would do it. I'm still in great shape, good health. I had a heart attack, but I'm okay again. You know what I mean? I could go out there and make him look dynamite for a minute. You know what I mean?
Like I've always heard, and correct me if I'm wrong here. I've always heard that Goldberg is a type of guy that kind of takes things really seriously. He takes his gimmick very seriously. He takes what he does in the world of wrestling very seriously. Do you think do you think maybe this match hasn't happened because he's just like really like he's taking himself too seriously or something, or is it just?
Brother, I don't have a doll. I'm not on a video game. Nothing because of Goldberg.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, because of Goldberg, I can't have nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that's very unfortunate.
I'm saying Goldberg. Let's just say the people I know that I have had in the know that have researched why I don't have a figure, the Festival of Friends I was just on. They put the set, everything. Didn't have a Gilbert.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I showed WWF talent and everything, man, the marketing department and all. For a year and a half in Jack's Toys, I was the #1 wanted wrestling figure. And they never made it.
Wow.
That's... Yeah, and at that point when you're being requested,
now,
that's
if they'd have done that, my worth had been $3 million.
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't. I mean, I'm just a little construction worker, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I work for a paycheck every week.
Well, you're more than just a construction worker. I mean, let's be honest. Like you've trained a lot of people that have at least, at the very least, has gone up to do enhancement matches. Some people working full time in the WWE. Like we just talked to Julio De Niro last week, the week before,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to Julio De Niro, and Julio De Niro said, you were somebody instrumental in helping him along in his career.
Julio's an awesome guy. You know
He's a
that.
great
Mm-hmm.
guy.
Paul White used to come down to my Monster Factory and train.
Wow.
D'Lo Brown.
Wow.
But
There's a name you don't hear
can't
often.
say I trained them. I helped them along. I gave my aspects to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another one. Another one I know of. Jessica Carr, referee up there at WWE.
Yeah,
now, I know she came through your school.
That was my first student in Gilbert.
Yeah.
Gilbert's Pro Wrestling Academy. She was my first student.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you surprised at all by her success? Are you surprised at all by her success?
No.
I was about to say.
No,
Yeah.
I am so happy for her. And Derek Wayne used to come to my school all the time too. He used to ride around with me. I used to try and get him a job at WWE. I turned his tapes into WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Derek Wayne. I remember Derek.
He's been a referee there. What? 12 years, 13 years now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got one that just got signed by NXT.
Who's that?
You might know him as Desmond Xavier.
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Heard that name.
Yep. He just came out of TNA.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was like one of their top guys.
Regardless, your legacy in professional wrestling is living on through these students of yours, and
right.
I wanted to bring this up as well. This is like right before the pandemic, which seems like ages ago at this point.
Longest 2 weeks of my life.
Yeah, this has been the longest 2 weeks. Yeah, it really has been. But you had your retirement show last February at Michael's 8th Avenue. 2 weeks before the world shut down. Against another one of your students at some point in time that you've kind of helped out in the business, James Ellsworth. What was it like?
James, it was awesome because James owns ACW, right?
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
And he told me, he said, you want to retire? I said, no, I don't want to retire. My wife and son want me to retire. And they've been on me hard to retire because they saw the movie The Wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
so of course Daddy's going to die in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was talking to him. He said, well, if you want to retire, Dwayne, anybody you want, any name you want, I'll bring in and pay them. He said, anybody. You just tell me who you want to wrestle. I don't give a shit how much money it is, Dwayne. I will pay it for you. And I said, all right. I got it. He said, you thought of it that fast? I said, yeah, I know exactly who I want to wrestle. He said, who? I said, how about you? He goes, what? I said, yeah, how about you? And he's such a class act, people don't realize it, that he actually went the next show and won the ACW light heavyweight title so he could lose it to me and I can have the belt.
Wow.
That's a class act right there. That is a prime example of not forgetting where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
the funny part is, I started all the wrestling shows at Michael's 8th Avenue. Do you know that was the last wrestling show ever, Michael's 8th Avenue?
So you got to open it up and close it down.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, that's
wow.
That's
that is
awesome.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And it was packed. It was packed. You couldn't fit another person in there. And what really broke me up and had me crying my eyes out, after the match, there was like 15 wrestlers that I didn't know were there,
Mm-hmm.
sitting out in the audience, and the whole audience stood there for 20 minutes. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Gilbert. I mean, I was crying my eyes out.
Yeah, I remember, like, I was doing the sound for that show, as I do for most of the Adrenaline Wrestling shows, and sitting
That's
there
what
and
I'm
kind of.
saying. You know me, brother. You
Yeah.
know how much money I have.
No, but like sitting there, I remember because we had Beastman on the show, who was, I want to say, he was part of the first or second match on the card, and I remember sitting there, Beastman comes and sits beside me, and he was just like, I'm going to be honest, this is probably the greatest independent wrestling show I've ever been on, and like, I'm hard pressed to find another show that was just that good. Like, that night, everything ran from beginning to end as perfect as it possibly could have.
And to have Larry there is,
Yes.
said, I asked him too. I said, man, no matter what, can you get Larry to announce?
Yeah,
I
Larry.
love man.
Larry was
He's a
incredibly
great
proud
guy.
to be there for that moment.
I love Larry. I really do. That guy deserves everything he gets. He really does.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to be one of the premier wrestling and sports announcers. I really do. I really believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. Larry is, as far like, I would love to sit here and tell you that I'm the best ring announcer in the area, but Larry Legend's around, so I can't do that.
No, brother, you're good, but you
I'm
know
good,
as well
but yeah,
as
it's
I do,
Larry's.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm, we'll say this, I may be, like the Cal Ripken Jr. of ring announcing. Larry's the Mickey Mantle. Like, he's just a step above, yeah.
I got you. Well, it's kind of like Larry making fun of Michael Buffer.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you can't do that.
No.
Michael Buffer is probably one of the greatest ring announcers ever.
Yeah, absolutely. But
But
Dwayne.
Larry is really good, man.
Yeah, Larry's awesome. But Dwayne, I want to go ahead and just wrap this up here. It was good to have you here on the podcast pit.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dwayne.
Yeah, and we are.
Oh, man, thank you guys, man. I appreciate the heck out of it.
And I got to say, I'm incredibly happy that you are in good health right now.
Mm-hmm.
We were really worried about you there for a couple of weeks. I'm just glad to hear you're doing okay.
Yes, sir. I'm doing a lot better. That's for sure.
All right. Well, hey, we wish you a successful and easy 2021 here, and we hope to talk to you here again in the near future.
You got it, man. Hey, same back at you guys. Thank you so much.
See you,
Thank
Dwayne.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dwayne Gill. He was joining us here via phone on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're getting some, we're stepping it up with the guests here the last couple of weeks, aren't we?
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, you know, if you missed it, guys, you can go back and rewatch all of the episodes, but the Julio De Niro one was probably our longest interview. It was probably about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour and 15 minutes. But it was a great interview. And, you know, we're starting to get these people on the pit here, you know, who have these careers, who have this, and it's great to not only be able to get those guys, but also the up and coming indie talent that we've had on the pit as well. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, it's escalating quickly, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
It's getting out there. But we need your help to get it out there even further. Please, if you are watching this, like, share, subscribe, wherever you're watching this. We are on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Please, like, share, subscribe. It helps us out tremendously, gets the word out there, and tells everybody you know about the podcast pit, the Rolls Royce
The Rolls Royce.
of professional wrestling podcast.
Yeah, man.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're not done yet. We're going to go ahead and talk about our wrestling news. Normally, we would, in a normal situation, we would start the show off with this kind of thing. But Dwayne Gill comes first.
Yeah,
Dwayne's got to come first.
So let's start. Let's start Monday night. Now, I don't know if any of you follow. Those of you follow me on Twitter, follow the podcast pin on Twitter. So I work at a Planet Fitness in Hagerstown here, and there's a TV that I can actually see from the desk. And usually every Monday, if I'm working Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whenever, I put wrestling on that TV, no matter what. So Monday night, I put on Monday Night Raw. Mistake. It was. So this Monday was Legends Night. Now.
So you're saying it was shite?
Oh. So it did exactly what they meant for it to do, and it raised their rating to like a 2.6 million, which is great. Good for them. I'll be interested to see the follow-up number this Monday on Raw. So when they call it a Legends Night, that these people are legends that they brought on, but it was the same 10, 12 people that they always bring out. Mark Henry, who I love. I like Mark Henry. none of these people, except for one, do I dislike. Mark Henry. They brought up Mickie James as a legend. She is a legend, but she's also still on the roster. She's just injured right now. Ron Simmons. And it was like they brought these people on not to have a segment, but just to kind of remind us that they're still alive.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, they brought these people out, and they had Randy Orton cut some promos. Monday Night Raw is Monday Night Orton. That's what it is. That's one of the few reasons to watch Monday Night Raw is for Randy Orton. The guy's just, he's one of the greatest of all time. He really is.
That is by far the best worker of the last 20 years. I will continue to say it.
Right.
I'll say it till the cows come home. The best worker of the last 20 years is Randy Orton.
So,
and it's not even close.
Yeah. So we go through Legends Night, and they card out all these people. They have to card out old Hulk Hogan. They got to bring him out. They got to remind us that he's still around.
Hulk Hogan this week.
About the young people. He's like, the younger talent doesn't respect me, brother. I don't know. I'm not coming for their title or whatever. No, they don't like you because you continue to put your foot in your mouth.
Continue to put your foot in your mouth. The quote about not being able to put anybody over the 90s because they weren't ready. Not to mention, maybe the young people are cold to you because you get caught on a video saying the N-word. You know? A lot of people, I don't know. A lot of people don't take kindly to that. That's just me. That's just me. But
so then we got that. And then we have the main event is Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre. And I'm thinking, okay, this should be a good match. Well, boy, was I wrong.
Oh, yeah?
Keith, I completely understand now, watching that match, why Keith Lee is being sent back to Florida during the week for more training. He was just sloppy. It was the first 10 minutes I was watching, I was like, ugh, this is not good. And it's the basic stuff. Mm-hmm. The lockup. The first thing they did was the lockup, push each other into the rope, and do the whole push each other around the ring. It looked like no one knew who was supposed to be doing what. The old boy tried to jump out of the ring. I call everyone old boy. That's old boy. I mean, he tried to. The old boy. He tried to jump out of the ring and about killed himself. If he would have been in the ring with anyone other than Drew McIntyre or like Randy Orton or like a really, really good wrestler, it would have been someone would have gotten hurt. It was bad. It was not good. And of course we knew Drew McIntyre was going to win. But this is supposed to be limitless Keith Lee. The guy could barely jump over Drew McIntyre. His big shtick, he throws him into the
limitless Keith Lee has limits.
Yeah, the dude tried to throw McIntyre. He does this thing where he whips the guy into the ropes. The guy comes running at him and he jumps over him and he didn't clear McIntyre. It was bad. So then I've got to watch this match. And then at the end of Raw, Legends Night, who do they decide to card out? Goldberg, who we just got done talking about. Goldberg. And then he inserts himself into the main title picture. He is going to be facing Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble, arguably the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. This is where the road to WrestleMania begins. This is WrestleMania season, and they bring out Goldberg. So here's the thing.
So if you had to choose between Hulk Hogan and Goldberg coming back, what kind of sandwich would you make?
A shit sandwich.
A shit sandwich.
It was just... there's a reason why in the 90s why Goldberg's matches were 30 seconds long and he didn't talk. It's because he knew 5 moves and he didn't have to make the matches long because he was huge. He was an attraction. And he didn't talk because he could never cut a promo. And it is prevalent today, last week on Monday Night Raw, why he shouldn't talk. If anyone needs any reason why Goldberg should no longer be in the ring, Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia where he fought The Undertaker. It could quite possibly be the worst match of all time. The guy gave himself a concussion before the match even started. I'm sorry. And people who are saying, oh, well, AEW brought Sting back. Apples and oranges. They brought Sting back to cultivate new talent, to basically manage and build up Darby Allin. They brought back Goldberg to put him in the main event because his stupid contract that they offered him, they didn't make him sign anything, that they offered him, requires him to do 2 large matches a year. Put him in Saudi Arabia. I promise you. Let's thank God that it's January so we can get that first one out of the way. If it's by fiscal year, we're screwed because we still got one more. I'm just so tired. And they wonder why their ratings are dropping. They're wondering why people aren't watching.
It? You need to tell us how you really feel.
I'm so done. Monday Night Raw is the worst weekly show on television when it comes to wrestling. And that was proven even further this week because TNA Impact. Oh.
I feel like this is going to be a T-shirt. We just need to get the Monday Night Raw logo, and instead of it's just going to say "worst show ever."
It is. It's awful. It is awful, and that is proven because TNA Impact this week was incredible. Both AEW and NXT were great. SmackDown continues to be the best one. I'm sorry. There was a time and place where Impact.
Yeah. Do you need a hug?
I'm so done.
Do you need a hug?
This isn't even. This is my normal speaking voice. You got to realize.
Why are you holding it in? Why are you holding it in?
I'm just so. I can't. I told people my brain was going to explode.
Oh, I love it.
I told them. It just. I don't.
Dude, those levels were on red for like.
That's. Yeah, there's probably people coming down here like, is everything okay? No, it's
What's
not
happening
okay.
down
Monday
here?
Night Raw continues to suck. It's just they wonder why their ratings are continually dropping and why they're losing these demographics. And then they bring back Goldberg.
You know, this has been an old Vince McMahon thing for years, though. I remember in 97 when they were getting their ass kicked by WCW, and, you know, they had the USA Network come down and literally have to approve the scripts of the show before they got put out.
It's getting to that point again. It's
I remember there was these points where he wanted to do this hotshot booking where let's bring back the Ultimate Warrior. Let's go to try to sign him back. And it was just like, can you imagine that in 1997, bringing the Ultimate Warrior into that environment?
No.
When you already had Brett and Shawn going crazy on each other. Can you imagine what that locker room would have been an insane asylum? Someone
put it very, I saw on Twitter, someone put something about how, you know, it's 2021. You know, we had the worst ratings ever. We want a good reset. And then they started with Miz TV. Now, I like the Miz. I've always liked the Miz. Miz TV is not how you start first Raw of the new year.
I think the Miz is okay. I think he does his part, but I honestly think he is this generation's Jeff Jarrett.
No.
And from his wrestling, he does a good job. And this isn't a knock on Jeff Jarrett either, because Jeff Jarrett, I was a fan of Jeff Jarrett up until like the TNA days. When it got a little.
I never understood Jeff Jarrett.
I love it. Like when they got him an Edge there, like towards the end of his first towards the end of that WWF run, when they got him an Edge, a little bit of an edge, I think that helped him out, and like he was able to carry that for about a year and a half in the WCW before TNA started.
Right.
I think it was a great. I think it was great for his career. The Miz is in that same boat. It's just like, you know, he's not going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy that wrestles the guy. Like he's never going to be the man. He's going to be the guy that supports that person.
Sure, but I think the Miz is way more charismatic. I think he's better in the ring. He doesn't require Now, I'm not a big fan of kind of the hokey crap they're doing with him and John Morrison. They brought back John Morrison, and then they put him in this like hokey, you know, it's all Vince McMahon type crap. But he didn't require, you know, Jim Ross said it best on the Rise and Fall of WCW, which, you know, granted, is a WWE product and documentary, but Jim Ross, I think, said it best when it's like, how many times can you break a guitar over someone's head and it not get a pop? for you to like. That's all they did when Jeff Jarrett was
like. You got to understand that was Vince Russo's boy.
Well,
that was Vince.
Who you would think is
I don't
great.
I don't think he's great.
You're
I
not
think
helping
I think he gets more flack than he deserves.
Okay.
And by the way, you got to watch that. You got to watch the him rebooking the Invasion. You've got to watch that.
Oh,
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you a
Russo?
username and password to my KC vault.
Oh no!
But you've got to watch that.
Oh no!
No, it's actually very good.
We'll see.
Okay, look, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make a believer out of you just yet. But we're gonna get on before, like after that rant. I need a fine pilsner. So.
Oh my gosh! I'll keep talking. Yeah, it's never. It's never. It's never stopped me. So. Also, this
before, yeah, I gotta say,
we're it's a fine pilsner.
Yeah, it's a fine pilsner. It's an honest beer. It doesn't lie. We're out of our Broken Skull IPAs.
It's Miller Lights are probably my favorite. My favorite of the I don't know, working man beers, I guess. Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, all that. I love a fine pilsner.
No, I love my Broken Skull IPAs. We're out of them right now, but like I told you a couple of weeks ago, like the Liquor Locker carries these here in town, and they're fantastic. Yep. Like if you guys are looking for those Broken Skull IPAs, definitely give them
Liquor
a visit.
Locker.
Liquor Locker over on Dual Highway by the Checkers.
I did not win the Pappy Van Winkle.
Oh, you didn't win the the raffle?
Win the raffle.
Oh no!
I did sign up. I was hoping the first. Okay, so it started, and it was like his name was like Ron or Ryan or something, and I heard I was like, oh, and I was like, no, yeah,
I would have wished I would have been there to see the look on your face.
Yeah, it was Christmas Day. Oh man, I was like, no. So also Monday and Tuesday night was Wrestle Kingdom. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and actually it was all New Japan.
John Moxley showed up.
He did by pre-recorded. It was a pre-recorded message.
Yeah, I was about to say he's probably having a hard time getting into the country right now. Yeah, there's that whole COVID thing going on, and
so the big matches, Will Ospreay lost to Kazuchika Okada in a 36-minute bout, which was really good. On the first night, Tetsuya Naito actually lost to Kota Ibushi and lost. Kota Ibushi became the dual champ, the IWGP Intercontinental Champion and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And then the next night, he wrestled Jay White in a 47-minute bout, and Jay White lost. And after it, Jay White cut this promo. He's like, I'm done with this company. I'm done, I'm done being the second fiddle. I'm tired of not getting my dues and stuff. So there's been some speculation whether he's leaving or not. But
where's he gonna go?
Well, I don't think he's leaving yet. I think he still has another 2 years. There's a rumor that he has a 7-year contract that he signed, I think, 5 years ago.
So this could be an angle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they're gonna try and turn him babyface. I think this is a beginning of a babyface run for Jay White. Who, I mean, Switchblade Jay White he's an incredible performer.
That's I got to be honest with you. After Prince Devitt, Finn Balor leaving, after AJ Styles leaving that company, after Kenny Omega leaving that company, that was a tough act to follow. Right. And I think he did a phenomenal job carrying the ball.
So, that's actually a great segue, because those were all Prince Devitt was the founder of the Bullet Club. Which leads me to AEW.
Oh boy!
If
you redeemed yourself, Cody and Tony, you redeemed yourself very well this week. I'm proud of you.
This week, the main event was Kenny Omega with Don Callis in his corner versus Rey Fenix Jr. for the AEW heavyweight title, which was a great match. And then at the end, Kenny wins, starts beating the crap out of Rey Fenix Jr. Then John Moxley finally reappears with the barbed wire bat, and he starts beating the crap out of him and stuff. And then the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson, come down, and they start helping Kenny Omega. They start beating the crap out of John Moxley. And then
you got the Young Bucks coming down.
The Young Bucks come out, and we're thinking, oh man, here they're gonna baby face it up. They're gonna they're gonna save John Moxley.
Nope, they got too sweet.
The ending of AEW Dynamite ended with Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, and the Young Bucks all in the center of the ring, given the 2 Sweet, which looks like they can't call it the Bullet Club because of
well, they're calling it that on Impact.
Right.
Yeah, they're calling it that on Impact.
Yeah, but they can say Bullet Club, but they can't like sell the merchandise or anything. Or New Japan Pro Wrestling will definitely hit them with that cease and desist. But it's because Machine Gun Carl Anderson was one of the original 3 Bullet Club members. It was Prince Devitt, Bad Luck Fale, and Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
New Japan.
I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've actually watched a lot of videos on their YouTube channel about like the history of the Bullet Club in New Japan and kind of the G1 Climax and all that. And then Luke Gallows was one of like the 4th member, and the 5th member I think was Tama Tonga. But besides that, but then later Kenny Omega came around after kind of Prince Devitt, aka Finn Balor, left, and a lot of these guys left. Kenny Omega became the cleaner, and he became the leader of the Bullet Club, brought in the Young Bucks, and that's where we see the Golden Elite, and they kind of split. There's 2 kind of factions of the Bullet Club. They left. The Bullet Club gets taken over by Jay White, essentially becomes the leader of the Bullet Club. Brief history.
All right, so yeah, we're talking about this Bullet Club thing. Honestly, this has been the best week for the storytelling involving this angle in a long time. Don Callis still looks like the grimiest son of a bitch on the world. Dude, he looks like a character you're going to meet in Grand Theft Auto. Like, I love it. I love it. Kenny Omega, not just a phenomenal match. Dave Meltzer put this match over this week with Ray Phoenix. Said it was 5 stars.
Then Jim Cornette probably hated it then.
Oh yeah, Jim Cornette's probably crying in his beer or cussing in his beer, or whatever he does. But long story short, Dynamite, the main event of Dynamite this week, was as good as it gets.
Yeah, it was really, 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 really good.
Their entire show was pretty good. Like, I am a big fan of the Acclaimed right now. I'm a big fan of them. They're getting over the stuff with Taz, and Darby Allin's getting over.
Yep.
Like the new look of the TNT title for Darby Allin.
I do too, and that's because they've retired the original design. The only person who will carry that is Brody Lee's son, aka -1.
No, but like I'm saying this now. I wasn't sold on him quite yet because of his size. Because I mean, like AEW's got a lot of smaller guys.
Yeah.
And once you start getting the bigger guys in there, kind of doesn't make sense. But Darby Allin's kind of been holding his own,
right?
Like, I mean, even with this angle with Brian Cage, like, he's been taking care of business, holding his own, and continuing to make himself look like a threat, especially with the presence of Sting in his corner.
Yeah,
that helps tremendously.
Oh yeah.
The kid's gonna be a star,
and that's where there's a difference between AEW and WWE. AEW brings in these old talents to manage and put these over. Look at Jake the Snake. Look at they brought you've got Jake the Snake, Arn Anderson. You've got these talents who are now putting over and helping develop these characters instead of WWE, who takes these old characters and these old timers, so to speak, and puts them in the main event. With no schema. It just
so beyond the Bullet Club, I want to stay on the Bullet Club this week because we haven't talked about Impact. They got a big 6-man tag coming up over there.
Yes, it's the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann and
the Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City Machine Guns. That's it.
Money match, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's going to be an incredible match.
I'm telling you. Eventually, we're going to get to see that Young Bucks versus Motor City Machine Guns match. I'm hoping they drag it out until there's crowds back in buildings.
Yeah, that match will be huge.
That is a match.
It's a huge draw.
I will tell you this right now. Kenny Omega winning the Impact title, it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, that's happening. So
it has to.
Get the 2-belt challenge and get the champion from New Japan over there for a super show. Get him over here when crowds are back into play. That undercard having Motor City Machine Guns versus the Young Bucks.
So I just thought about it. So and here's the interesting thing about that, Mike. You say that if you have Kenny Omega as your champion. Him versus Kota Ibushi. The history, if you don't watch New Japan, there is so much history with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. It would be incredible. They were they were called the Golden Lovers as a tag team when they both came in as young lions. They split for a while, and Kota Ibushi came in and made the save after Kenny Omega's cleaner gimmick had kind of run up. I believe that's when it was, had run up, and they reunited years later. It is said, I read an article that said when Kota Ibushi signed his lifetime agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Kenny Omega cried because he knew he may never wrestle his best friend ever again.
Wow.
And to see the AEW and Impact title holder versus the dual New Japan Pro Wrestling title holder, it would be one of the greatest matches ever. It would be in the top 5 ever. The storyline leading up to it, the history behind it, and the fact that New Japan would be working again with Kenny Omega and AEW and Impact, it would just be incredible.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, is that all we got for him this week?
I think that's about it.
All right. That is all we have for you this week. We will be back with you next week here. You never know who we're going to bring back. There may be a special guest with this, not to mention Captain D.
Yep.
It's Captain D's put up or shut up time.
He's called me 15 times since the show started. He's blowing up my phone.
Oh, he's been blowing up your phone?
He tried to get. He was talking in the comments a little bit too.
Oh, he's talking in the comments.
He was.
He'll be here next week, man.
Yeah,
brace yourself.
Next week.
Oh, he's gonna be here next week. Oh, lovely,
great,
lovely. I'm interested to see who he has.
Yeah,
I'm very interested.
Well, you did challenge him, so apparently he's got something. So
yeah, he's got something up his sleeve. So we're gonna find out what he's got up his sleeve. And ladies and gentlemen, I know eventually this month we're gonna have a special guest. We're going to have a very, very special guest. Probably our highest profile guest yet. I'm going to keep you kayfabed on who it is.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's going to be a big one, and it's going to be somebody you may see on a local wrestling event or somebody you may have been supposed to see on a local wrestling event here over the last year. So, guys, be on the lookout for that. But before we do leave, I'm paying the bills. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the good folks at One Up IT Consulting. Did you know 85% of cyber attacks in the country right now are financially motivated? Go figure.
Who knew?
But luckily, the people at One Up IT support, the people at One Up IT Consulting have you covered on this. We have a managed antivirus service. We have managed services that give you technical support, system security, and most importantly, peace of mind. You do not have to worry about falling victim to one of these cyber attacks. Call the good folks at One Up IT Consulting. They are managed services with care. You can reach them by phone at 301-799-3553 or on the web at oneupitconsulting.com. One Up IT Consulting, managed services with care. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mike Raddick. This is Rennes Carball. We will see you next week, same podcast time, same podcast channel. We are out.
This is the Podcast Pit, brought to you by Ben Media.